In this video, I asked my subscribers to send me their Bedwars games, and now I'm going to analyze them and give tips to all of you. Someone actually sent in a game where they were hacking, hoping I wouldn't notice, and my reaction when I realized is pretty funny. Hope you enjoy. Alright, first up we have this game from IzTempest. I wanted to put this one first because he has very nice click sounds in his recording. Goes for a 1-wool defense and then just bridging 2 diamonds, ends up falling. Not buying any tools here I don't like either, especially because white has plenty of time to defend their bed. Even if you're certain that they aren't going to put down endstone or something, please get shears in that case. And then here, deciding to leave the diamonds to go for white. This kind of depends on whether you expect to win this first rush fight, but based on how slow white's been defending, you can probably assume they're a noob, and I would have liked to see the diamonds brought here, assuming that you're going to win this fight. Yeah, because white isn't even really playing the game. Now this is low-key picky, but I don't like this S-tap here. You're running in with significantly more momentum than white is. He's standing still shifted, you have high momentum. This is generally very good for you in this fight, but by S-tapping, he starts running forwards. Your momentum difference is brutal for this first fight, so if white knew what he was doing, he should be getting a double hit on you here, but instead he just gets hit selected by holding W. But again, that's very picky. It did not end up mattering in this case. And then we're seeing a very interesting bridge. I don't know if I've ever seen this bridge before, although I don't think I have anything against it either. Good way to just direct rush these guys if you aren't interested in getting any emeralds. Seeing that gray just voided, he decides to go for the respawning. Oh, that's unfortunate. And now deciding to take back the 4 diamonds. Nothing wrong with this, except that you bought haste, which is, personally, I would have bought sharp there, but... And now taking 1 diamond and going to white. You should have just taken the original 4 diamonds to white, because that feather falling isn't a huge thing that you need right now anyway. It's not the difference maker between going for and not going for this rush. Pink is obviously dead now, so only one option over here. You can tell by the shopkeeper that gray is still in his base right now, so nothing wrong aggroing. I do like keeping the high ground here. Gray seems like a big noob as well. Nothing wrong with the pre-gap. This I really don't like though. Knowing that like gray seems like a noob, the only way that you end up losing this fight is getting knocked off due to bad positioning. There's no way that the half a heart of fall damage you take by dropping on top of the defense is worse than ladder clutching right next to the front of the bed where you can just get one tapped off into the void. Luckily this guy isn't really aiming in that direction and you end up barely surviving on the edge. And yeah, just difficult block placements. I think that this entire fight though was thrown by ladder clutching in the front. Please move inland here and ensure that you can't get knocked off because you're crushing this guy on diamonds as well. He has nothing. Alright, deciding to go mid this time. Bridge eggs is what I was going to say. So I'm not sure how I feel about going to white here. It depends on how quickly red is going to come. If you assume that red just dying to you is going to decide to cross map rush, hopefully red just isn't coming through mid for you. Realistically, red should be going for gray, but lots of people hold grudges in this game. So potting jump early, that's good if you're going to pot it for this rush anyway. It's not like it's going to run out. Big jump into this fight. This is actually pretty nice because you are going to take fall damage and then have the damage tick invincibility, so not going to be able to, even though he hits him here, you can see he loses the absorption heart. But he just overrode the fall damage, so no KB from us. Can easily back him up onto the island. I think that's well played. And yeah, red is in fact going for gray. I don't like this bridge egg. It's very low, so you still have a lot of work to do. And just in general, there's no reason to not grab this guy's diamonds and then continue to his base. Red and gray are fighting anyways. You're just giving like an option for one of them to skip. So red does get the bed. Solid fight there, take him out. And red seems to be just ditching bed unless they're trying to grab those diamonds and come back. I really would have liked to see some sort of fireball here towards red as they're looking straight down, bridging up, because there's really nothing that we need the fireball for on this rush. We have a pretty easy path to the bed, whereas red has to make this giant bridge back up. So as soon as you see him face down building, some fireball just like into this corner of the bridge, assuming he's going to start building over that way. Even if he deflects it, you know, we'll be here by the time he does anything to the fireball. However, because red took so long to do any of that, and he didn't have a trap, this actually ended up working as well. Not sure why you would want to take 3 hits just to pot jump. Jump is actually unhelpful in a fight like this anyway. Like, it's worse for you than not having it. So I don't understand why you would want to pot it off and get hit 3 times. Would have liked to just see a straight up fight there, considering you still have a bed. I guess it was that you wanted to use that invis? Get away and use the invis? Ooh, I really do not like this. If you're going to invis a guy directly here in his base, he knows you're invis, he just heard you drink it, he saw you disappear. You need to be getting a bunch of hits for free to make this invis worth it, because look at, you're already down some health. You need to be getting like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hits here before he starts trading with you. And then after getting this hit, you could just switch to your hand and move left here. Go behind, he's going to turn and swing into this direction. You'll still be invis, you can still start more fights, but you just keep your sword out and run straight towards him into the gen. This guarantees a trade, and he's already at higher health than you, so not surprising that you ended up losing it. Going for jump invis, that's pretty smart actually, because if you want to also get a tracker, which in this case I would like to see a tracker, you can just go through mid, buy the tracker at mid, but you obviously can't buy the potions at mid. It looks like he went to this side of the map as well. You're gonna see a direct bridge here. This is pretty nice. Yeah, and checking for fireballs. This is well played. There isn't really much that Red can do about it except fireball. And getting height here is a great way to make sure you don't get fireballed off, because anytime you get hit, you can just fall back on the bridge below. I also don't like this. Red's the one who's under pressure right now. You don't have to get to the base extremely quick. All he has to run is right here. You know he doesn't have any M's. You have a fireball that you could just snipe him with if he tries to leave anyway. So just, you know, bridge another 6 blocks over and then drop. But this fireball jump, you're never ladder clutching this, so like that's just a brutal loss of health. Gap up. Ooh, nice trade. Uses the jump to get away and gap. That's well played because Red can't do that, so you know you're going to get the gap off first. That was really nice game sense and ends up winning the fight. Hopefully some of the stuff I said there was helpful, but yeah, thank you IzTempest for sending in that game, and let's get into the next one. Alright, and now we have Falcon here on Slumber. Curious to see what strat they end up going for in this one. Green already fast rushing. Decides to put up some endstone. This is how I always play it. That's unfortunate. But again, still, Red is never getting there before you can get a pick and mine that endstone. I don't think there's any problem with just going back to the gen. Alright, now heading to Red. This is obviously fine. I don't know why the game audio is balanced to one ear. Nice fight on this one. Obviously jumping in is more scary for you since your back is to the void, but if you can get fall damage before he hits you, then you're not going to take knockback from his first hit. Knowing that, little S space there. Clean block off as well, and then making sure to route downwards without taking any fall damage. Here, I would really like to see focusing on getting these materials back to your E-chest, turning left, just punching those in from the stairs, but it looks like the other guy just quit the game, so didn't end up being a problem. Now looks like going to continue and grab some diamonds. Just taking back the diamonds, solid play. Prot trap, definitely what I would have bought there as well. Spending a lot of time going back and forth and buying stuff. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Green went direct. They also did that pretty fast, so at this point I would be worried of green as a player. This is interesting. So no gap, still pushing into gray. Now that gray is voided and we have a free bed, it's obviously a valid play, but before that, I'm surprised to see us just aggroing gray here. Pretty solid fight there as well, ends up flawlessing him. And now you do get a gigantic gen to hopefully get some gaps, because it was pretty scary beforehand. Yeah, just a little check there to make sure nobody's coming from the side or fireballing. I'd like to see a pre-gap here, knowing that green's also at mid. Really like to see a pre-gap here, and there's no M's there anyway. I would still like to see a pre-gap here, but forcing white is also good. That's a great fireball out in front of white. Oh, and you get 10 emeralds for it. Really good fireball in that case. If you knew that white was running around mid, always worth it to risk a fireball there, prevent them from using any of those M's and get all of them for yourself. A little 2-pillar to aggro. Not sure I love this either, because, you know, That's a whole bunch of fall damage you don't need to take. It's not like you're surprising white either, because you get so much height on it. You throw it right at the ground to make sure you get up this ledge. So it's not like white's surprised. You're not forcing it quicker than he expects. You're already just trading hits, so not a huge fan of that there, but hopefully you do win this fight. Yeah, that's nice. Good job timing your hit. Make sure that you don't get reg and slow yourself down. Got a lot of stuff. Would love to see some pearls here. Diamond armor's fine, but I'd love to see a pearl here. Having 10 Ms and just ending up with diamond armor and some random stuff. Really need a pearl in this case, because you should be suspicious of green as well. The diamond armor, definitely not a necessity since you already have iron. I actually would have preferred to see diamond sword pearl bridge egg jump than what we currently have. Getting a tracker on green, definitely solid, because green has been mid. They could be holding an invis and it's just you guys left, so I do like that tracker. Let's see what kind of fight we're gonna have here. Ooh, that's all scary. Yeah, that looks like game. Ooh, okay, let's check out this final fight here. You've got a lot of movement items, you've got decent gear, there's nothing wrong with pressing this. I think the problem just comes at the start of the fight here. Do you try to place a block? Your aim is good here, you're looking up at him, but you go down and try to place a block. I think that's why his sword is blocked, is he wants to put a block here. But instead, just aim is now completely too low, and he's getting a ton of hits on you for free. So definitely just commit to that fight with your sword if you're gonna. This fireball is very nice, blowing up here to make sure that you go over this gap. And at this point, like, having 2 hearts, you know that you're gonna die to a fireball. So if you can't deflect them, there are a lot of high risk plays you could try to go for here, like turn around and throw a fireball at him. You could throw a bridge egg behind you to create blocks and block up the easy fireball angles. But again, at that point, once you already took those 4 hits, it's not like you did anything wrong at the end. But this is why playing optimal is so difficult, is even one mistake like this was just an instant loss. Unlucky. But yeah, good game, and thank you for sending that one in. Alright, next up we got ztzt with a beautiful Nick Hider playing on a very slow iron map this time. I'm not really sure what he's doing. But he went with all blocks and then put a couple back just because, you know, no reason to risk all your blocks on such a slow iron map. I do like that, saving some behind. He doesn't take the diamonds to go to Aqua, even though he can see that Aqua isn't at their base. I don't really like that. There's really no risk here. Oh, a lot of motion blur. But, like, seeing Aqua here on white, he's going to be occupied. He's not getting back before you get his bed. I would have recommended to just take those diamonds as well. Now you get a huge gen from Aqua. That is great. Use it to buy a stone sword and a lot of wool, and then just continues aggroing. You could have tried to steal that kill. This is a really nice play here, because you can see here he's on 240 ping. So that's going to influence a lot of the fights he takes in different ways than it would for me. Like this would be scary, jumping in here on my 40 ping, because you could just get swatted backwards, but it's a perfect play on 250, especially if Pink doesn't know that he's high ping, because Pink is not going to be able to get hits on him before he's already in field, and you know, from there it's just an easy win. Buys a gap and some more blocks and is going to continue aggroing, but decides to actually go back and buy armor and an axe after seeing Pink's wood. Besides missing that first diamond gen, this has all been really solid gameplay so far. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, that's just unlucky. The guy's so far away from him on his screen. Nothing he can do there. This is another fight that, like, I can't say that much about, because standing here is a good play on 40 ping, but maybe not on 200 because he doesn't get a hit back. Also, fighting from up here on the defense would be bad on low ping, because they could foot trap you pretty easily, but like, I would have liked to back up off the defense here back into the base, but he can, I guess, force the issue because he has a little less knockback in this scenario. I'm not sure if I like going with 50 blocks and a stone sword while not having a gap and on 5 hearts. Like, this is a pretty big inventory for this map. This S tap into hit there is really nice, and good check to see that he has to turn and fight the guy again. That was all really solid. Waiting to mine the bed so that he can position select this guy, get him to rush out and get one tapped off. This is really nice play here. Yeah, and then uses his high ping to get on the other side of him, knock him off. That was really well executed. Decides to void because he sees a guy going towards his base. Definitely has plenty of time to get that void off. And has a full gen to pick up because he hasn't been back to his base this whole time. I would have liked to see him buy some stuff with that gold. You got 23 gold, maybe get a couple gaps, iron sword. Especially on a very PvP focused map like this. Iron swords are more valuable here than some other maps. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is really rough. All those previous edge of base fights, he had a pretty big advantage with his high ping there, but inside of a base like that, high ping, massive disadvantage. Is that a pearl? Yeah, okay, so that guy just pearled to his bed and mined it. Obviously not much you can do there. But that's part of why, again, I would have liked to see him buy some more stuff with all of that extra gold. Hang out with an iron sword here, couple gaps. Instead, he's going for diamonds. Good awareness again that red is all the way over there and blue obviously just got his bed. So perfectly safe to come get red diamonds as well before going for a base, even if it looks like he really needs the materials. But yeah, now he's up against the clock for buying stuff because he didn't before. Not able to pre-gap because he didn't have any on him. I don't like this fireball. Fireballs are super, super rare on this map. Like all of that running around this entire game, he has one fireball. Just kind of throws it randomly at the guy. Not a fan of this. Would have been much more useful keeping it for literally anything, especially on this map. People think that fireball jumps aren't that useful, but two-pillaring for distance is huge on a running-based map like this. Just picking up a diamond gen again then and heading back, get prot 2. Red and blue both in front of him. I like this. I like him not making a play here. Very high level play we're witnessing. But yeah, no reason to really force this. If you know that there's 8 M's at mid and you have 2 fireballs here, I can see making a play to fireball past and then run some M's, but really weird fireball from blue. Good S-tap to make sure it doesn't somehow blast you off. I would like to see a pre-gap here now that you have 5 of them. Yeah. I would push... Oh, never mind. There goes blue. Makes the decision to leave a little less hard now. And red was on 14 and wasn't gapping that whole time, so I think aggroing here is a solid play. But instead he decides to turn and go mid. There could even be 2 M's at this point. Now red's pushing him, so he gaps up. Takes the fight. Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, that's just unlucky. The fireball here to create distance is actually a great play, but the dude places those 2 blocks right at the same time, and then the fireball gives him 0 backwards knockback based on the angle. Like, you're expecting this fireball when you throw it to hit the guy, in which case this is great, but because it ends up hitting this block, now the force that it's giving the player is downward, because you can see it's up here, so he goes into the ground and just takes no knockback at all. Very scary. The turn here on the second hit, though, is great. Just ensure that you get more distance from his hit to get cleared over this hole. Sets up a little God method, jukes the guy, and just locks in for the fight. Alright, pretty chaotic game there, but does manage to close it out. Thank you to ztzt for that. And finally, we have running some solos on arcade here. You can see here in your corner that yellow is already rushing out. Like, you're holding a nice angle on this window, but seeing that yellow is already coming, I'd like to be taking some action here. Yeah, this is good. Good realization that you don't need to bother with a defense. It's not like it's going to make a difference. You just have to win the fight. Already at this very first fight, I was suspicious that this guy was actually cheating because of how long he swung his sword after he killed the guy. But I decided to ignore it and give him the benefit of the doubt for now and just give advice on the game like normal. Yeah, in this case, when they don't have a defense, you should always be trying to get the bed first here. You know, we don't need to talk about the little mistake there. This S-tap is great. The little jump and S-tap to create more space, that's awesome. Knocks him away. I don't like the leaving the bed early, obviously. This is a great chance to just mine it, especially since he placed that block. You're mining the bed here. He's running forwards at the same time. He's going to have a lot more momentum than you, and since you're the only one with blocks, I would love to see a little S-tap and block right here into his path, because currently you're taking this fight with less momentum, just not optimal. You're not in a good place for momentum. You hit against this block, so his hit is always going to come before yours regardless of the ping difference. Would have liked to see those materials go into the E chest so that you can use them at other places. You can see in both of these little fights, it takes him a while to stop swinging after the guy is clearly out of reach, which is an obvious auto-click tell. This asteroid belt always so annoying to run on. Or the Pac-Man dots or whatever. Somebody corrected me about that in a previous video. Yoinks the diamonds, continues the rush. This is all good, because again, there's nothing that dangerous about your bed currently. Haven't been away from it for that long. I would have liked to see a check here. You have a lot of time on this bridge before you're close to Aqua. Would have liked to see any sort of look over to this side, make sure that nobody's coming along the asteroid belt. This is great bridge fighting though. Once you notice that he ran into your blocks, you should be getting some free hits there. That's great. Block up again because he's too far away. This is all really solid. This is not, you don't want to be aggroing a 3-block high ground, especially with 0 momentum. You can see that jumping up on top of this pillar, he ends up clipping there, which resets his momentum to 0. So there's no way that you're going to be getting this hit unless he's completely missing. But luckily he just jumps directly off the side of the map. Yeah, I would love to see a gap here, honestly. Yep, I agree with that. No reason to risk losing this fight. You get a lot of materials if you win anyway, so. Alright, still would really like to see some sort of check across the map towards blue. Make sure that nobody is coming while you're waiting all this time for gold anyway. Let's see, decides to continue rushing instead of going back. I also like this. There's no reason to rush all the way back to your base void or anything if nobody's pressuring it. Now running back to our diamond gen, knowing that it should have a lot of stuff, and continuing across. Going to mid maybe would have been better in this case, but I also don't think this is terrible. Alright, waiting for one more diamond so that you can actually buy something now that you have 4. That is good. And pushing red as a final. Ooh, yeah, that's unfortunate. I need to go back and look at this a little more. Long story short here is I spend a long time analyzing this failed fireball jump, even though I just think he's hacking at this point. But in hindsight, this is probably just because he had a right-click auto-clicker that took a while to start clicking, or he had some sort of aim assist that pulled his aim up towards the player while he was trying to look down to fireball. But I think the idea to fireball jump there wasn't particularly bad. Check the respawn. If you're buying an iron sword and tier 2s, I would have liked to have at least 2 gaps with this life. Really nothing to save that 9 gold for. You're going to get a lot more when you respawn again anyway. Now heading mid. You can see both of them across. Yep, cut them off here. That's well played. Oh no. Man, you're cheating, aren't you? Okay. I mean, yeah, buying the bridge egg here is good, but I don't even know why I'm still commentating. You don't want to use that second bridge egg. Considering you're already going to trade beds, you might as well save it, just bridge anyway. But like, why am I even talking, dude? Yeah, I mean, the Indas is good, but like, why does any of it matter? And now just to quickly explain why this is a definite tell, this guy had spent the entire rest of the game directly walking into his ninja bridges. Like, he immediately walks up to the edge and ninja bridges backwards, keeping a consistent pattern right from the start. But here he messes up his aim and looks at the void instead of the block. And if you were bridging for real, he obviously would have unshifted and fallen into the void because he starts his pattern so quickly, but instead he just hangs there doing nothing. And the reason he sits there for so long is because the hack client is actually bridging for him, so he doesn't expect to have to do anything once he sets up his aim. It's just doing the entire thing for him. So it isn't until he realizes that his aim is off and moves it back to the block that his hack client starts bridging for him. Based on his previous gameplay, if he wasn't hacking, he would have fallen in the void here. So unlike all the other sus stuff I was trying to ignore, this is undisputable proof that the guy was cheating, and you can just hear the disappointment in my voice. Anyways, I really enjoyed making this video, and I'm actually going to do a part 2 of it soon, with a few good games that I passed over for this one, including one game by a fellow Bedwars YouTuber. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.